Yo, welcome back, yo. Welcome back. What's going on, yo? What is going on? Welcome back to the Zillion Podcast, okay? Where we talk about books, brains, and blockchains. Wait a minute. Stop. Let's rewind. Fantasy, family, and freedom. What happened? I just rebooted. Everything got rebooted. Welcome back. That was weird. Very awkward. Very awkward. Anyways, let's pretend that never happened. No, but seriously, though, I feel revitalized. I want to talk about something that isn't writing related this time. I want to talk more about the show itself. I hope you enjoyed the last 2 episodes about writing. Let me know if you want more episodes about writing, or if you want to talk about more fantasy related stuff, if you want to talk about specific shows. Let me know what you're into. I have one video I want to talk about. I want to redo, because I had a video that I did 4 weeks ago. I never uploaded it. Well, I uploaded it, but it was awful. The sound was terrible. So I'm not posting that. It's about Chris Claremont, and I did some research while I was traveling, and I realized, wow, Chris Claremont actually was one of the beginning of the end for, what happened to Marvel. Like, he kind of actually accidentally, or maybe intentionally, I don't know, maybe he was into that. I don't know. I'm not sure. He was the kind of person who opened the door. He meant well. It's like, what's that term called? What's that phrase called? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like, he had a vision. He wanted to do this. He wanted to open the door to different types of stories and different types of, environments and perspectives and stuff. And that was great. It was cool. He had a lot of great stories. However, what ended up happening, what he didn't do was he didn't moderate. He didn't know how to moderate. He was very bad at moderating or curating maybe the story direction of where he was going, which I don't want to get into the details of all of that. We could talk about that in the future, but let me know if you're interested in that, okay? Because I have much more to say about that. I had no idea he was one of the reasons why Marvel, especially in the X office, fell apart. It wasn't just today it happened. It actually happened way back when, with him fighting with Jim Shooter, him and Jim Lee butting heads, Jim Lee winning and taking over, and the place didn't have a story direction really. Then you had Fabian Nietzsche. I don't want to even go into the whole thing. It's a whole thing. Bob Harris. It's like a saga. It's like a saga of nonsense. And I don't want to do that. I don't want this episode to be about that. I want this episode to be more about just looking at history again, right? Re-looking at everything from recontextualizing things by allowing yourself the bird's eye view of looking at history, and being a little bit more disconnected. Like, I like Bendis, for example, right? I liked him. I met him. He's a good guy. Like, he means well. But a lot of things that Bendis did had unintentional consequences, that that Marvel still is feeling repercussions for. The fans are still feeling the ramifications for to this day, right? Joe Quesada, his stories were interesting, but a lot of the decisions he made, a lot of the choices he made, still you're feeling the ramifications today, right? Like, those choices had built up over time to be these colossal big F-ups, right? And so I think as a fan, reader, right, somebody who liked the old stuff back in the day, it's interesting to look at history and being disconnected from it and being much more, what's the term I'm looking for? It's much more, I think stoic is an accurate term, like being more stoic about it and more logical, less emotional about it. I think it's good to have that disconnect. That's why now, after the whole CG, Comicsgate, Fallout, after, Iron Age and everything, I think all of those things were good things that happened. I think all of those things that happened, they happened for a good reason. And it was to divorce yourself, your soul, right? To divorce your mind and soul away from the cult of these products, right? The cult of Marvel, the cult of DC, the cult of whatever it is that you're consuming, right? And just looking at them as products and looking back and saying, I enjoyed these products. These products were a fun time. I will always have those positive memories. I will always have those stories, and I will use those stories to fuel my passion for better stories in the future that I want to tell, right? But you're able to not allow these things you're not tying your identity to these things. You're not allowing these things to be an ego investment. I think that's the important part, right? It's for your own, to be honest, your own sanity, because these writers and authors and artists and editors and whatevers, they're just people, and people are flawed. People are terrible. People do horrible things and have terrible opinions and are, living examples of Dunning-Kruger effect, right? And just because they're a good writer or a subpar writer or an okay writer or a writer who gave you good memories back then doesn't mean that they know what the hell they're talking about today. Doesn't mean that they know anything about politics or anything at all. Like, it's true. The social media platforms, kind of demonstrated Dunning-Kruger effect, right? They really, you look at that and you go, wow, I'm glad this happened. Now my eyes are open. Okay, I can look at you as just a normal person now and not look at you like a hero, right? The whole never meet your heroes thing is 100% true. I'll never forget going to it was a Comic-Con, but I won't say specifically which one, but I went to Comic-Con. I went to many Comic-Cons, but this one specifically I'll never forget. Went to Comic-Con. It was an artist who wouldn't even look at me. He wasn't even doing anything. He just wouldn't even look at me. Wouldn't even give me eye contact. Wouldn't even talk to me. Rudest person you could imagine. And his assistant was a nice guy who was like actually talking to me. He's like, hey, and I'll never forget that. The kindness of the assistant in the face of the disgusting behavior of the artist. And that was like a wake-up call for me, like a great wake-up call. And this is before all of the comics gate and all this stuff. That was like, oh, this is how these people behave? And there was nobody around this guy's table, guys. Like, this dude his ego was way up here, right? Many years later, he would have a big wake-up call himself and realize, dang, I really ain't shit. But my point of that story isn't to be like, woe is me. The point of that story is to, hey, I'm thanking that artist. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate you. You helped me. I didn't know at the time, but that was a very good moment in my life. I wish, to be honest, I would thank him today. I'd be like, thank you for doing that. You really helped me. You did. To be honest, if I was older, it'd probably be Jim Shooter. Maybe Jim Shooter would have been the one who, I don't think he would do that, but maybe, you never know, different artists, different editors, different writers, they may do different things in different eras, right? So, for me, I look at that I flipped it on its head. I look at it as a positive experience, right? And I was able to divorce my mind, my soul, and cut off the value, right? The value of those things went back to normal status. Like, oh, these are okay, these are good. But I'll always have the memories that I enjoyed, and I'll always cherish those memories I enjoy, but that doesn't identify me as a person. You know what I mean? They helped me fuel my writing, but that's about it, okay? And I think that's important, to be able to make your own identity, create your own identity, build yourself, right? You're the one who does that, not anybody else. You got to be the guy. I've said that many times before. I'm going to say it again. You got to be the guy. You can't let these authors or whatever put them on a pedestal and look for validation. You got to self-validate yourself, okay? You're great. You're wonderful. Build yourself up. Keep working on it. Keep having a high self-esteem. Keep working on your craft. You're going to make it. Just have a positive outlook. These guys have actually a negative outlook. That's why they behave the way that they do. If you talk to them, which unfortunately, and for a lot of them I did, that's not anyone specific. I'm just saying in general, a lot of them actually have a negative outlook in life. I mean, look at Dan Slott. You can't look at someone like that and say that guy is living a very positive life. He's not. He's in a very dark place. But my point of that is, don't be that guy. You don't have to. That's not your life. That doesn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? That's not your future. Your future is what you decide it to be. Okay? And so go forth. Be great. I want to give you that positive energy. I want to support you. I think you're doing great. I think you guys are, to be honest, have good head on your shoulders. If you're already watching this channel, you're already ahead of the game in a lot of ways, because this is all about mindset stuff too, because I still talk about mindset stuff all the time. I haven't changed that since day one. And that's about it. That's my opinion. What's yours? Let me know in the comment section below. Appreciate your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.